is what most teachers have right now. So they have a homepage that looks something like this. It's got their name, their subject, right, a way to contact them, and then it has these 4 buttons down here at the bottom, which is awesome. When you click on the button, it goes out to the Canvas course, and we have successfully linked several Canvas courses together right here with these buttons. That style lets us keep all of our grading separate, which is the preference for most teachers. And this is a great way to have things set up. And most teachers know how this works because of the Canvas course in the summer and because of the Learn conference in the summer. We do have some other options that are emerging for different and specific classrooms. So we have this other option that Becky Strebel presented on last week. That's this weekly buttons option. And what this is, it looks a little bit different. It looks something like this, where we've got a header here, and then in our buttons, instead of being for each subject, are for the days of the week. And when the kids click on these, they either go to the modules page and get what they need for the day, or they're sent into pages and they get what they need for the day. This is not currently the style guide, but is completely acceptable if it works for your team. Especially for younger learners, teachers are finding that this is a lot easier for them to navigate if they set it up this way. The one drawback of this is that all of the grades from this Canvas course flow into one grade book. So a lot of the upper grade teachers think, well, that would drive me bonkers if it was all in one grade book, but the lower grade teachers are thinking, well, that's not a big deal because I don't enter hundreds of thousands of pieces of evidence. So those styles are really just styles, and it depends on how you're teaching and what works best for you, whether this subject buttons option works best or this weekly buttons option works best. I wanted to start out with those today because the example courses that have been shared with you are set up with the weekly buttons option. This is not something that is a mandate. Nothing from our department is ever a mandate. It's just to give you another example. And the reason we organized it this way was just to do that. We felt like you were really familiar with the other way, the subject buttons model. And so we did this model to kind of give you another option. It also is what we felt best would work for the online learners who are actually enrolled in some of these courses throughout the district and who are working with us as a curriculum department. So 2 reasons for that. I just wanted to kind of explain what this was. If it looked really foreign to you, it's not wrong. It's not something you have to do. It's just another look of how things could work. So I'm going to jump into one of these example courses. So everyone should have been enrolled last week or sent an invitation to enroll last week in an example course. You were enrolled in a course based on what your data form said on the first day of school. So if you're a teacher who changed grades, went from 6th grade to 4th grade or something like that and your data form got updated after the first day of school, you were enrolled based on that particular date. So if you're enrolled in the wrong course, just send us a quick email. We'll unenroll you from the grade you don't teach, and we will enroll you in the grade that you do teach. So there's one of these for every grade, so no one is missing out. I'm going to go ahead and check the chat really quickly and see if there's something that I missed. Yeah, Rebecca Barfus, the buzz from last week is posted right now on the elementary math site. So if you go to wsd.net, elementary math, last week's buzz and everything that I'm going over today and our previous buzz sessions and important messages are all right here. There were 2 buzz sessions last week. The one called dashboards and home pages that I did is still uploading in YouTube, so that'll be linked shortly after this session. The one that Becky Strebel did is located right here on the front page. So hopefully that will help. You can find all of that great stuff right there right now. Okay, looking back, looks like Brent's helping out. Thank you. All right. Moment theory is not correct. Okay. Yeah. And Melissa, like I said, if for some reason you didn't get in the right course, it means that we have you on the wrong mailing list. So just let us know and we'll switch all of that over and make sure that you are getting everything that you need. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to hop into one of these example courses. This happens to be 6th grade. I'm going to go ahead and pop maybe into 1st grade here to show you through this. All of them are organized in the exact same way. There are lots of benefits to these example courses. So hopefully you'll see those as we go through. So if I click on the modules page of the example course, it should go over there. You can see how we've got the modules organized. Now, this organization, right, would only work if you were doing the day-by-day organization because it has all of the subjects all together. But we thought this would be best to push information out to you because of what you can do with this. So we've packaged it in a day. Okay, so Monday, September 14th, according to the district pacing guides, this is the math lesson that would be taught that day. These are the English language arts lessons that would be taught that day in science. Now, English language arts and science, those pacing guides are currently emerging, right, as we're bringing lots of new content on. The math has been around a little bit longer, but I know Christy and Maggie are publishing those and getting you information out on those. Does it mean it has to be taught on that day? Absolutely not. It was just we needed a way to package these. I will tell you that they're running about 2 days behind the pacing guide because we had our lovely windstorm that closed school for 2 days and we knew nothing was happening on those days. So to get us the closest to where everyone might be, that's how we've packaged. If it happens to work for you, great. If not, don't feel any pressure that has to be on that particular day. The beauty of having it done this way is that from the example course, you can import from this course right into your real course, and you can preview everything here. So a couple of drawbacks to Canvas Commons is that if we've used a Cami and there's an external tool, when you go to Canvas Commons, it gives you that error, right? That you can't see what the Cami itself is. In the example course, you can see everything. So if I click on, for example, this problem set here, if I looked at this in Canvas Commons, it would give me an error because there's a Cami in here, it wouldn't show it to me. But here, I can see exactly what it is. So that's a huge bonus over Canvas Commons right there, is that I can go through and I can quickly just click next and I can preview exactly what the kids would be getting on this particular day if I wanted to use this lesson. Okay, the next most beautiful thing is that I can import this content directly into my real course or directly into my sandbox, wherever you want to put it. But I can take this course and I can, in just a few steps, import it and it can be set and ready to go. Another advantage of this, I'll show you how to do that here in just a second. Another advantage of this is that we have gone ahead on some of these. I'm looking at the first week. The first week we did not do this, but on the subsequent weeks, we've put points in and we've also put due dates. So if you happen to just take our package and use it for that particular day, those things are already set. If you don't use it for that day, the points are already set and you'll just have to change the due date. So trying to eliminate steps that we know are taking you lots of time. Let me see if I can open one that's a better example that wasn't within that first week here. Go ahead and scroll down. We'll look at this week here and you can see right here it says it's worth 22 points. And we've set the due dates that we've set are set to September 21st if it's underneath September 21st. All right. Go ahead and check the chat here really quick. Yeah, so JC, all of these are set in the courses that we sent to you last week. So if you click on your dashboard, you should see these cards that look like these. You don't have students enrolled in these. We've had a few teachers worried that we were taking over their course or something. They're just example, only you can see them. None of your students are in them unless you're working with us on another project and we have your students involved. But if we do, you are a teacher who obviously knows that. So if you just click on this, you're going to get the example course. So let me show you, how do we take information and things that we want out of this course and just take it right over to our course. So we're not going to go through Canvas Commons. We're just going to take these resources and put them right in our course. So let me find one that I want. Let's say that I decided wow, this is a really easy way to get a whole day's worth of content set up for my online learners. And I'm okay following this format. I realize those are big ifs, but let's say I wanted this whole module Monday, September 21st, or let's say I just wanted this one lesson out of here, lesson 11 in my real course. Either way, I can pick one thing or many things and I can transfer them right over to my real course, which again, in Canvas Commons, I can't do that, right? I get either all of it or I get none of it. It's kind of an all or nothing thing. Here I can pick even down to the assignment level if I just want one thing, okay? So in your view, as a course viewer, you don't have these 3 dots over here to do copying and sending. So there's a different process to get this over to your course. First step is to go to your course that you want to import into. Now, I will tell you that I have a tutorial already built for this. It's actually already up on elementary, wsd.net/elementary math. It's already sitting there. I will put it in the chat when I'm finished. So all these steps are already written out step by step for you to follow. So if you just want to watch for now, that is probably the best option. So let's say I'm going to go to my, this is like my real course, right? If I was a teacher, this is what my real course would look like. From here, I need to go to settings. So I'm going to go to settings and I'm going to go to import course content. Okay. That is the button that gives me access to now bring something over from any other course that I'm involved in. Okay, so the example course, right? You're a viewer in that, so you can pull content from there. So I'm going to do that one more time. On courses, I went to the course that I want to bring the content into. So my homeroom course, my math course, whatever that is for you. Then I went to settings, and then I clicked on import course content. Okay, so here I go. Remember, there was that one module and the one assignment that I wanted to bring over. So right here on content type, it asks me what it is I want to bring in. You're going to click the top one that says copy a Canvas course. I wish this said copy something from a Canvas course because you don't have to do the whole thing. We're just going to grab those couple of things. So top option, copy a Canvas course. I'm going to click here and then it asks me to search for the course. So those were in the 3rd grade course. So I'm going to just start typing 3rd grade online. Okay, and it shows me the course. I have like 100 and something courses. You won't have that. Your drop down will probably have the name of the course in it that you need. So you click the course where the good stuff is coming from. Okay, so usually if you're importing from the district course, that's going to be the online homeroom. Okay, so I click where I want it from. Now this is probably the most important click, this next one coming up. It's select specific content. So I don't want the whole thing, right? That would bring all of those modules over and I don't want that. I want to be able to select specifically what it is that I want. So I do select specific content and then I do import right here. And what it did down here in current jobs, okay, is it says that it's waiting for selection. So it hasn't done anything yet, hasn't brought anything over. What I have to do next is do select content. This is the magic screen, okay? This is kind of what I wish Canvas or Canvas Commons would let us do. This opens up it's the little arrows over here on the left-hand side. If I click them, I see a drop down of everything that's available. So I see in the course that I chose, I have all of these modules are available. So if I want to bring the whole module over, I just find that module. This was the module I was looking at. So if I click there, and then if I was to click select content, it would start bringing that whole module in. Okay, so there's one option. I'm going to bring that one in. You can also select multiple things. So, but I also wanted just that one assignment from the other module. Okay, so I'm going to go to imported assignments. I'm going to look at all of these assignments in that course. I'm going to find exactly what it was that I wanted to bring in. And since I don't exactly remember, I'm just going to pick an example here. Let's pretend it was this exit ticket. Okay, so I just selected the module and then I selected one assignment. Once I click select content, it's going to start moving it over. Okay, so I just select content and it tells me right here that it's running. And this is the progress bar that tells me how far along it is in bringing it over. Usually, unless you select the entire course, usually this is really quick. So you can see that it's already completed. It came from this 3rd grade online homeroom, and it's completed right here. So if I go back to my modules page, it should have put that module at the bottom. Anything new that we import comes into the bottom, and look at that. It brought the whole module into my course. So there it is, all one full day of curriculum. I realize there's a lot of ifs in that because you'd have to be using this lesson here and this lesson here, but it brought everything in. All right, I'm going to go ahead and check the chat really quick. So Crystal, great question. So can you just take our stuff from the example course and just import it like that into your actual course? Absolutely. If you want to just follow those lessons and do those lessons every, with the pacing guide for the district, that's great. If that fits you, that is great. And it makes your online teaching really, really simple because you're just bringing in that package for each day. You don't have to be lining anything up. All right, Peter. Okay, so I was just saying too at the beginning, this example that we have over here, so let me go back to the modules. The example courses are set up in a different format. They're set up so math and ELA and science are all packaged together. That would have to be under like a day-by-day example. So I'm going to go back to this one really quick. There's kind of these different ways to set things up. Most of you probably have your courses set up under subjects because that's how we taught you to do it over the summer. And the reason for that is so that your grading stays all in different grade books. What we sent to you is this weekly buttons option. The reason we sent it that way was because we could package all the curriculum in one course and get the most recent curriculum to you out that you are using hopefully most recently if you're following the pacing guides. So the option of putting all the content together in one course is completely great as long as you're okay with all of the grades showing up in one grade book. So there's trade-off to both. The subject buttons option is a little bit more complicated to set up, but your grades stay separate. The weekly buttons option is great, but your grades get all kind of mixed together. Okay, so I showed you how to import that. Now, one thing that you could do, if this module fit you thought, okay, I could teach lesson 11 on the same day that I teach this ELA content and this science content, but it's not on September 21st. An easy thing to do would be just to click here, click edit, and change the date here so that it was the date that lined up with your teaching. The only drawback to that is that each one of these assignments that are down through here, you're also going to need to change the due date on those because those are set. If you're using this straight out of the example course, you just need to change the due dates on these as well. But remember, okay, maybe it wasn't going to work for me to take a whole module from the example course, but I loved in the example course, right, that I could look and I could actually see the real preview of these things. And I found one thing that I wanted to bring over, and it was an assignment. Okay, where did it go? When I imported the assignment by itself, it went into assignments. So if I click over here on assignments, it's going to work for a minute. I can see down here that Canvas created a module called imported assignments. And if I remember right, it was an exit ticket. So here is that exit ticket that I imported sitting right here over it's not on the modules page because it's not associated with a module in my actual real course at this point. So a couple of ways I can get this over into the modules. I'll just show you the way that I like to do it. I just go to the modules page, and then wherever I want that, let's say that I'm setting up my content for next week and I want it right here under Monday. So I click the plus sign, I go to assignments, and I see that exit ticket sitting right here that I just imported. I click on it and I add it into the module. I slide it up to Monday and it's ready to go. So even if you're not importing the full modules from the example course, because it would have to be that those were the way you were actually teaching and it was on those days and all of that, this is probably going to be the more likely way for you to use that content. Another great thing about the example courses is that as we find problems, we can update those immediately, and we can either send those to you directly or just tell you that they're updated, and we don't deal with some of the replacing problems that happen on Canvas Commons. For example, the 4th grade team, let me go back here for just a second, turn this off. The 4th grade team at Plain City today said, hey, there's a problem with lesson 15. Did you know that? And I said, I didn't know that. So we went and updated the PDF for the problem set in the lesson. Well, it's fixed now in the example course that all 4th grade teachers have access to. So if they're pulling from there, all of the updates are immediate. So another great reason to be using the example courses. I'm going to take a second and just breathe right here for a minute and let you ask questions. Is there something that you want me to go back over with the example courses, or a question that you have? Go ahead and put it in the chat and we'll make sure that we get to that. I'm going to look at JC's question right now while you're thinking and typing. She says, would it be easier to import the entire course and then unpublish what you don't want? JC, I would still go module by module because we continue to refine and we're continuing to update. And so I would hate for you to have the whole thing. If that's easier for you to think about, you can definitely do that. But we're adding week by week. So right now in the example courses, so if I go back to one of the example courses, let's go into 4th grade this time. You can see that we have it linked. So if I click on Monday, it's going to open right up to Pages, and it's going to take the kids in this course right through all of the stuff from Monday. But if I look on the modules page, we are loading this just a week ahead of you. So you'll see that everything for this week is obviously in there. And we just finished loading everything for next week. So if I scroll down, so we're not that far ahead of you. You'd have to go in and every week probably be bringing a module if this is what you wanted to use. So in here, we leave the modules for the next week unpublished until usually about Saturday night, and then we publish these and they'll link up with what's on the homepage. Great question. Oh, I wasn't presenting. Hang on just a second. So here's 4th grade. I was just showing you we've got everything for the next week loaded down in here. So you can see that this week's all published. The next week is sitting down in here, but we're not that far ahead of you. So it's usually not until Wednesday or so that we actually have all of that content ready for next week. But you can see all the stories, all the math, everything is ready to go if you want to follow the district scope and sequence. On Saturday, we publish these. And then in this particular course, now this is not something that is a have to by any means. I want to keep saying that because sometimes when we show you things, people interpret that as this is what you have to do. Our department never gives you have to do's. This is just another option. So you can see that this week's ready to go. Next week, the modules are ready to go, but we don't have these buttons linked up yet. So for this week, you can see that today, if a student clicked on Wednesday, they would automatically be put into a page that says welcome, and then they just click next to go through all of their stuff. So here's your math for the day, and then it loads all of the math assignments. This is a way of using Canvas that's designed for younger learners so that they don't ever have to grapple with the modules page, because you can imagine kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, even some 3rd grade students looking at all of this text and being able to find where they need to go is sometimes a little bit tricky. So again, not a have to, it's just another way of setting it up that we did in this example. If you want to use it that way, you can. If not, not a big deal. But it's kind of how that is rolling and working at this point. Okay. Crystal Owens, that is a really, really great question. Are you doing this all year? Let me turn my presenting off. We have committed to do it through the end of 1st quarter. So we're going to go through the end of 1st quarter. If teachers are still using it, still wanting it, if we're finding it's valuable, then we can keep going. we are really just taking all the great content that we've shared with you already through Canvas Commons, and we're packaging it in kind of smaller groups or packages so it's more manageable for you to look at. There's awesome stuff out there. It just has become evident that there's almost too much awesome stuff, and it's hard to know what to pick and what to put together. So Crystal Owens, through the end of first quarter, yes, we will be doing this. Is the content the same? It is, in lots of cases, Lori, it's updated from what's in Commons, because when we update things that we've already shared with you, and then we push those updates to Commons, there's a couple of problems. You might have seen my email earlier this week. If you download an update from Canvas Commons and you have done something to modify that content for your particular class, it actually overwrites that. So that's kind of another reason of why it's probably better to pull it from the example course at this point than to look for an update in Canvas Commons, because we would hate to inadvertently replace something that you had already taken from Commons and then modified for your own class. So if you want more information about that, or you feel like that you missed that email, let me show you where to find that really quickly. It's over, for right now, it's over on the elementary math section, and it says, wait, before you update from Commons, read this. So you just need to be really familiar with what an update from Commons does before you go ahead and do that. It might be exactly what you want. We just don't want it to actually replace things. So what we're recommending right now, we are keeping both up to date, Lori, but we're recommending for the latest and greatest stuff, you go to those example courses and pull that in. The ELA is also organized in an even better way within the example courses than is on Canvas Commons. If you're a 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade teacher and you're getting content every week from Christy that you could possibly use, that brand new content is in these example courses. Okay, Daisy, I'm glad you see that it's valuable. We're trying to just overcome some of the barriers that we are encountering and get you stuff faster and in a more efficient way. Emily, we have stopped pushing updates to Commons right now until we can make sure we get the word out. We had 2 teachers that I know of that accidentally were trying to do the great thing and update their stuff, and it replaced, and it just is breaking my heart. So we've stopped updating for right now. Everything new's in the example courses. We will continue updating once we kind of feel like the word is out about what updates do. Okay. All right. I wanted to say too that the process that we just used to take, let's see, go ahead and stop this. Sorry, it's doing something funky. The process that we just used to import content from the example course into our real course, you can use that with any course. So if someone on your team is creating, all the content for 1 week and you're pulling that into your course, as long as you're a teacher in that course, you have access to import in the exact same way. Something even better, let me show you this really quickly. If you have full teacher access, so in the example courses, you only have viewer access. But if you have full teacher access, you have these 3 dots over here on every single assignment that you have put together. If you want to share that directly with someone, you can click on that and you can click the send to these dots. So let's say I'm going to pick on Emily just because she sent a chat there just a minute ago. Let's say I want to send this assignment to Emily. I've updated it for our team, or it's way better than what was originally put out there, and she has asked me to share it with her. All I have to do is put her name there and click send, and it sends it right over to her Canvas, and then she can pull it into her courses wherever she wants it. When you send it to someone else, what it does is it shows on your account little icon up here. It'll put a little number 1 up there, or 2, or however many things have been shared with you. But you click on it, and then right here you click on shared content. It'll also have a number there. And you can see that I have received content. Brent sent me something a few days ago. So he sent me this to import it into my course I just have to click import, and then it asks me exactly where I want it. So I just click the course where I want it, and it actually asks me what the module that I want it, and then I click import and it's there. So if you are sharing content with each other, that is an awesome way to do it. I mentioned we had a fourth grade update today, and those teachers wanted it, and right now I just was able to click send to and shared it right out to them. So if you have teacher access to a Canvas course, you will see those 3 little dots. And those are super helpful. So we have actually gone 4 minutes over. I want to make sure that I have answered all of the questions. Okay, Lori, I'm glad it's going to help. If the navigation problems are with the modules page, the example course way of organizing works, and you can dig in and kind of look and see how that figures out or how it works. So I'm glad that that's going to work for you. It says, so Rebecca says, if you change the assignments in the module to where your students are at, will it still allow them to click through until they're done? I'm not exactly sure on that one. Can you clarify that for me just a little bit, Rebecca? I'm sorry. Yeah, Emily, it's pretty clear. It's really slick to share things out. Let's see. Nancy, once you copy the course over to your example, you then have editing capabilities and can edit. Yeah, yep, exactly. So we were really careful to lock down the example course so nothing inadvertently happened. But yeah, once you copy it into your course, it is yours. It's your own copy. It's not tied to anyone else. You can do whatever you want. So if you want the ELA and not the math, you could import it all and then just delete the math. Way easier to delete stuff in Canvas than it is to create stuff in Canvas, right? So pull in everything you can and then just get rid of the stuff that you don't want. Peter, does this replace it? No, Chrissy will continue. If you're 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade, she'll continue to send out the weekly ELA stuff, but we are integrating all of that great stuff into these example courses too. So those should be very, very similar. Melissa, I'm glad that this looks like it's going to be something that works for you. If I was struggling with Canvas, if keeping up daily was really hard for me, I might consider just getting on board with the district pacing guides and just using this online stuff for the kids online. It would mean that with best practice face-to-face, you'd have to be on that same lesson and doing, that same story. Of course, you're going to do way more in class than you would online, but at least the online part, you could, in a couple of clicks, you could have, your whole week built if that worked for you. Yeah, let's see. Nancy, is there a way to have the example course for just the students who are learning at home, and then I can continue to teach from my normal Canvas course? Yeah, you could set up a course just for those online learners and have them be doing the example course. And then have your other course for your in-class learners. If that works for your way of teaching in your brain, that's great. You would just have to create another Canvas course through My Student to have just those students in that. And if you have questions on that, just email me and I can take you through the particulars of that. But yeah, that could totally work. I've had a couple questions about the graphics on the front of the page too, just saying, hey, could I get those? It's just a page. Let me go over and present really quick so you can see that. I realize we're over time, so if you want to pop out, you are welcome to pop out and I will not be offended. But we tried to make this generic too, that if you're struggling with your homepage still, you could just have this part if you wanted. It is really just a page. So if you click in Pages and you click View All Pages, you can go down to where it says Front Page, this first grade right here. When you do the import, you would want to just pick the page that says first grade, and that would bring over just the home page. So you could just import those graphics. If you don't want any of the content, you could just do the home page if that's what you were interested in doing. Okay, a few tips you will still need to assign your remote learners. And remember that if it is a page, but it will not be in the to-do list. Yep, Patricia, if it's a page, unless you have some mastery pathway stuff turned on, then it won't show up for your learners in your class. So, all right, I think this is going to be awesome. I think it's going to be a much better way to share. I will tell you, if all of this goes smoothly, there is a possibility that we might just put our math and our ELA and our science courses where you can grab all the content and it's just organized by lesson out there. So we'll see how this goes over the next couple of weeks and if this is valuable and if it's ends up being a resource for you guys. So I'm way over time and I'm so grateful that you came today. Thank you. And if we can ever help with anything, feel free. Me and Christy and Maggie are always available through email and Jabber. Have a great evening. See ya.